Hello, my beloved truth sleuths and horror hounds. We've finally done it. We're finishing up the iceberg by covering the final 2 levels of it. Although there are 2 levels, and up to this point I've been making a video per level, there weren't enough cryptids in level 6 and 7 to make singular videos of their own, so I'm combining them here. As always, I will go over all entries I feasibly can, meaning if there is ample information available, and doing so is not disrespectful to any particular culture. With that in mind, let's begin the final dive into the cryptid sphere. The first of 2 giant beasts for this video comes straight out of Florida, giant penguins. This cryptid came to the forefront when large 3-toed tracks were found at Clearwater Beach in 1948. Though witnesses alleged to see giant penguins later that year, it was determined on April 11, 1988 to have been a hoax perpetuated by known pranksters Tony Signorini and Al Williams. The next cryptid hails from Warsaw, Poland, the Warsaw Basilisk. This beast was said to live in the basement of some castle ruins and would roam the city at night, causing havoc amongst townsfolk. Eventually, legend states a tailor by the name of Jan Slazik would kill the basilisk, utilizing a mirror in a similar fashion as Perseus' slaying of Medusa. Our first sea creature for this video is West Africa's gombo. Gombo is basically the corpse of a dolphin-platypus hybrid found by teenage wildlife enthusiast Owen Burnham June 13, 1983. Local villagers would take the corpse from Burnham, decapitate it, and bury it in a location that is yet to be discovered. Next, we head to the Caribbean for another chimera of sorts, Lusca. Lusca is a shark-octopus hybrid first spotted January 18, 2011 when the partial remains of a massive creature washed ashore in the Bahamas. They are believed to be comprised of a shark's head and an octopus's body that can grow up to 200 feet in size. Our next beast is Brazil's Minhocoa, a giant earthworm fish first described to a French nationalist named Augustin Saint-Hilaire in December 1846. It is believed the creature is between 65 to 260 feet long and only really appeared during rainstorms. When it does appear, it swallows animals whole and destroys any area it arrives in. Off we go to Queensland, Australia for their version of Nessie, Moha Moha. Moha Moha specifically differs from other Nessie clones because of the turtle shell on its back. Indigenous people of the area told stories of the beast attacking their villages, but the first big sighting took place in 1890. Another globster appears on the list with California's Moores Beach monster. The Moores Beach monster washed ashore in 1925 and was described as a dolphin-like creature with fur, elephant scales, toenails, feathers, and even legs. Turns out it's just a Barrett's beak whale. Back to Africa we go for a strange beast described as a fish-like polar bear, Trunco. Trunco is the carcass of an unidentified animal that washed up on the shores of Margate, South Africa after allegedly being seen fighting 2 killer whales in 1924. The beast was described as 47 feet by 10 feet by 5 feet with white fur and a trunk like an elephant. Remaining in Africa, we next talk about water lions. Mostly known to prowl the rivers of Central Africa, these semi-aquatic felines are described as having soaked fur that appears scaly and massive tusks. It is said they are extremely violent, killing hippos for fun and eating countless humans. Our second to last cryptid of this category is China's Wunan toads. These massive, gluttonous amphibians are said to be afflicted with albinism and reside in Baofeng Lake, located in Hubei province, and were mostly seen in 2 incidents taking place in 1962 and 1987. These toads are most known for distressing humans and chasing them off whenever any trespass onto their territory. The final sea creature we will discuss for this iceberg is the most interesting so far, the U-28 creature. The only sighting of this creature occurred July 30th, 1915 during a World War I naval battle between German U-boat 28 and British steamer Iberian. Commander Freiherr George G. von Forstner describes the beast as being about 60 feet long with 4 webbed limbs, a tapered head like a crocodile, and a pointed tail. Accounts state that it only appeared after Iberian sunk, as if it had been contained within it. There is only one ET to discuss here, so let's knock it out quickly. The Bat Beast of Kent. It was seen by 4 British teenagers who described a self-illuminating oval-shaped object hovering in a field in Kent County, November 16, 1963. From it came what could only be described as a giant, headless bat. Well, that's kinda unsettling, The first land-based cryptid for this final video is an allegedly Lovecraft-inspired beast, the Offal. The Offal is a Virginian beast of urban legend described as looking like a griffin with a serpent-like tail. Sounds promising, but there's really not much to it. We now move to France for the Beast of Gavaudan. I've covered this creature once before in a different video, but basically, this is one of the oldest known lycanthropy cases. The next cryptid comes from a creepypasta of the same name, the Dark Woods Demon. This creepypasta describes how a man makes a trek into a densely wooded area and starts to feel like he's being watched. After hearing the chilling cry of an animal he couldn't identify, he runs back to the safety of his truck only to see the beast as soon as he was inside. It's described as being a 9-foot-tall, ape-like humanoid with shaggy black hair, lanky arms, and an extremely muscular build. And it's violent. Very violent. The next cryptid is quite fascinating to me as it's a vestige of the American Civil War, Old Green Eyes. Old Green Eyes was first seen after the Battle of Chickamauga, September 19th and 20th, 1863, amongst the litany of corpses. The ghoulish creature's main feature is its glowing green eyes, but it is also said to have humanoid features and a deformed jaw with nasty fangs. Next, we have Cambodia's own Kating Voir. This creature is described as a deformed cow with long, twisted horns and an affinity for eating snakes. Not a whole lot is known about it, and all evidence I could find for it existing ties back to a set of horns found in a Ho Chi Minh City market stall, which leads me to believe it's a hoax. To Lackwood, Quebec, Canada we go for yet another beast best known for its unique cry, the Lackwood Screecher. No description of this beast's physical appearance has been provided, and only the guttural screech has ever been recorded. What is scary about this thing is specifically what could happen to those in proximity of this cry, some allegedly enduring serious head trauma from the sound alone. It is also widely believed that contact with its hair and dander could allegedly cause massive dermatological distress, including skin just peeling off completely. In Texas, we have the long-lost relative of the Goat Man, the Lake Worth monster. This humanoid terrorized Lake Worth residents in July 1969 and is described as having satyr-like features. A photo of it was allegedly taken by Alan Plaster in October 1969, but even with that, many believe the whole thing to be a prank facilitated by a group of high schoolers. We return to Africa for the giant, deformed, and demonic hyena called the Nandi Bear. Although some Kenyan tribes describe it as a demon monkey or baboon, the first recorded sightings by Jeffrey Williams in 1905 describe a canine creature the size of a lion. Like many cryptids, Nandi bears are widely believed to be misidentified hyenas. Speaking of giant monkeys, our next cryptid is the final Bigfoot variant of the iceberg, Orang Pendek. Seen in Sumatra, this giant orangutan-like creature is believed to be a spiritual trickster or demon. Known for hunting in packs, these little guys allegedly love yams and typically carry around a tiny axe. The penultimate land beast for this iceberg can literally be summed up as a werewolf, but with tigers, were-tigers, there's really not much else to say here. Our final land beast is yet another mutated primate, the X-Monkey. There are no images for this cryptid, but it's said to be a singular orangutan with a robotic face. It's allegedly highly intelligent and somehow roams through every forest on Earth. Oddly enough, some believe Albert Einstein created it. The first cryptid of the final category of the iceberg is by far the most unique and most interesting, the Black Volga. Black Volga is a 1960s-1970s urban legend from East Europe and Asia that describes a black Gas-21 or Gas-24 vehicle that kidnaps and murders bystanders at night. Whether Satanists, the KGB, or the Mafia are to blame, many believe victims have their blood or organs harvested. Next, we move to a relatively well-known creepypasta originally seen on the paranormal boards of 4chan August 8, 2009. Camera heads. Though various supplemental stories and descriptions have come out, none but a singular YouTube video are considered canonical. Camera heads are generally described as humanoid creatures with cameras in place of human heads. From Arizona, we have a very obvious cryptid and killer cacti. These are basically sentient cacti that can attack animals and humans at insane speeds. The oldest cryptid in this category is the Pig-Faced Woman, an urban legend that reaches back to 1630s Europe. Though there are many variations of this tale, most are of a beautiful woman who is enchanted by a witch so that all but her true love sees her as deformed. Eventually, this turned into a rumor used to shame poor women who unwittingly pissed someone off in their village. The penultimate cryptid for the iceberg is the Romanian zoo humanoid, which can be traced back to a YouTube video posted May 2nd, 2014 by Gary Freeman. The video shows a man allegedly at a Romanian zoo filming a pale, naked creature in a cage. The creature, whatever it is, looks a lot like the Rake. We end our coverage of the cryptid iceberg with the UK's own Sandown Clown. In May 1973, a couple of children were drawn away from their family by a loud noise akin to an ambulance siren. The kids came across a humanoid creature with an oversized head that they would later describe as an alien clown robot. This is the one and only sighting of the clown, and many believe it to be a hoax. And there you have it, true sleuths and horror hounds. We've officially reached the bottom of the cryptid iceberg. I've had a wonderful time covering this with you all, and I really hope that you enjoyed my coverage as well. Now onwards and upwards I go with brand new projects coming in the future. I will see you then. Sweet nightmares. I just wanted to take the time to thank my Patreons and channel members. Your support is so appreciated. If you are not a channel member or Patreon and you would like to become one, there's a link in the description below. All channel members and Patreons receive 24 hours early access to all content posted on both of my channels. And all Patreons or channel members of the $10 Hellhound tier can request one horror-related video or stream topic, or one horror-related game that I play on my live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Again, thank you so much for supporting the channel and the content that I make.